Hey, what's up guys? This is Brian from Whisper Status 74. Welcome to the channel. This will be an unboxing video of a new 4K Blu-ray player. I typically don't do these. They're actually very difficult to do alone, which is why I have the help of my youngest daughter today.
Hi.
Why did I buy a new 4K Blu-ray player? Well, I had a first generation Samsung K8500. This was with my very first 4K display, which was a Vizio P series in 2016, and then I went through the whole debacle, which is why I started this channel. What's interesting about this design is it has this curved, outside, which is what they used and to kind of work in unison with their curved displays at the time, which you don't see much of anymore, which is ironic because this stayed curved and all my panels are flat. There's really nothing wrong with the player. The player works fine. It just hasn't updated. Doesn't take any new updates in regards to Disney Plus or any of the new streaming apps. So that's important. But most importantly, it doesn't have Dolby Vision or even HDR10 Plus. Now, my display now doesn't have Dolby Vision either, but a few of the displays that I plan on bringing in, as well as the B8 that I had, I wanted to be able to check the efficiency of Dolby Vision on disc, which is really important to me more so than the streaming Dolby Vision. Xbox One X has a very good 4K Blu-ray player. It does have Dolby Vision implementation through the streaming, but not on the chip for playback on a disc, which is very, very important to me. I'm being distracted as my daughter is actually mimicking my hands and my face, so it's a little distracting. But anyway, the player works fine. And I'm not a big believer in complete difference in picture quality from one player to the next. I do feel there is probably a slight difference, but I am interested in, again, Dolby Vision and HDR10 Plus for future displays, as well as displays that I'll bring into test and use. But the Panasonic was fine. It was very bare bones. There was actually very little to change in the settings other than cinema, dynamic, the same settings that you'd see on a Samsung display. But there wasn't any real way to offer or change the picture settings as far as it was either dynamic, standard, cinema, but there wasn't any kind of changing the side with the options, what so many of us love to do. So it was basically play. Also the remote, which, can you pause it? The remote was probably one of the worst remotes in history, was this tiny little remote. The problem was there wasn't a fast forward rewind feature on its own. It was primarily just this little scene skip. If you held it down, it would fast forward or rewind, which is a nightmare because it was too sensitive. You'd skip scenes. So a little bit annoying, especially when you're trying to film and trying to pause scenes because we can't play due to copyright. It was a nightmare. I had to use my Sony remote. What's important, and I'm glad what they have and what I need to have specifically, which a lot of these players do have, is a separate audio out. It's a second HDMI, so you can actually go around your receiver. So you don't need 4K pass-through on your receiver. I have a Pioneer Elite receiver, doesn't have pass-through, so I need to split the audio, which obviously this player does. A lot of them do. But keep in mind, I don't know if every player does it, but if you have an older receiver, mine was the very last generation before 4K, you're going to want something that splits the audio. Okay, so let's start the unboxing. This is a Panasonic. This is the step down Ub820. Oh, no, Ub820. This was the one that I wanted. The 9000, which is the higher end model, is amazing. It's build quality. It's big, it's beefy. I love the way the 9000 looks. It's audio, all the things that are on the back are not something that I really need because I'm using a receiver. So the audio quality of that player, it's just an enthusiast. It has enthusiast options I don't need. This next model down, the Ub820, is the one that I wanted because it has Dolby Vision and HDR10 Plus. The step down between this, I believe, is the 420, which is got identical picture quality. It just is missing the Dolby Vision, and I want to say it's $150. This player is marked down to $400 now. I believe it was $500, maybe even $600. I know the 9000 is $1,000. So let's do the unboxing. It's a Panasonic. Panasonic is probably the one brand that I am extremely loyal to, that I would buy the OLEDs. I would buy their stuff. I miss them dearly. I'm a plasma fan. We'll be doing a video on why we think plasma is no longer here and why Panasonic is out of the US. But their players are here. I went to Value Electronics. There they are there, because they were the only place in the area that actually had it in stock. So we're going to go ahead and start the unboxing. Don't like my knife. These little baby scissors. These actually work. Okay. Just take a quick look at it. What's inside? Just our typical little book. Ooh, nice touch. A little cardboard on the back. Very small book. I do know the settings in this player. As Robert was telling me at the store, there is a little bit more to it as far as engaging the HDR optimizer, which this player has, which I am looking forward to using. Having the ability to go into HDR and change it to your liking is another reason why I picked this player. So, little booklet, not a whole lot. I wonder if anyone actually ever uses the notes in the back. I never have, but little booklet, small remote. I know the owner, Wendy, said she wasn't a huge fan of how small the remote is, but you know, definitely better than the one that I had. Has a skip, search, and here is the HDR optimizing button here. Does that show up through, my dear?
Yeah.
Okay. And here's the player. Let's take it out. It is very long. Power cord, AA batteries. Get that out. I dropped my kitty scissors. Get rid of my Michael Myers knife. And unwrap this bad boy.
Ooh, coffee sign.
What's that?
Coffee sign.
Coffee sign. Get out of here. It's Java. All right, guys. It is beautiful. Very shiny. It's got that metal brush look to it. So I will actually take the camera now. It's got that steel brush, ceiling fan, finish to it. And for you guys in the back, this is why you need an assistant. There you have, you can actually plug your speakers directly into the back of this. It has some USB. There's your audio out to split it. Very basic. Now the 9000 has a huge array of different features back here for speakers, and you can let it go, sweetheart. Where my old player here, I want to say didn't have anything in regards to speakers. It was just your typical player. But this one does have, if you wanted to add speakers to it, you can put a basic surround sound speaker to it. I don't know if you guys do that at all, but I know the 9000 has a lot more options. But I love the look of it. Love the finish. Very basic, but elegant. And as the whole door comes down. Now the 9000 just is very heavy duty, and I love the way that player looks. It was just more than I needed. I use a receiver, but you guys let me know what you think. Do you guys like the 9000? I believe it's the 420. Is got such an amazing value for having all of the same features except for Dolby Vision. It may have HDR10 Plus, but it's definitely an awesome buy as well. But this one for me, again, Dolby Vision, something that I need but it's a very basic looking player. You'll see it in the stand when I power it on. I'll go through all the settings, but that's my unboxing video. My daughter's face is actually in the player. But it's something I wanted. You know, Panasonic is a brand that I am unbelievably loyal to. I love the build quality. The difference between these two, you know, size-wise, it's actually not maybe a half an inch wider, and it's just, and nothing against Samsung, they don't even make players anymore, but this just has a more elegant, just looks better in your AV rack. Just has a better look. Now what's interesting is that 4K player, the Samsung, when I bought it, I believe it was $400. And actually, the just for context, the P series that I bought with it at 75 inches, not a Quantum P series, but a regular P series, was also $4,000. And that was considered a value. $4,000 right now would get you a, not John, that would actually get you an OLED at 77 if you were getting a C8. You get a top of the line 75 inch now for, so you know, I know TVs and things are very expensive still, but just keep in mind 2016 that Samsung player was $400 and that Vizio was $4,000. The Quantum X right now is, you know, $2. All right guys, that is my unboxing. Sorry it's not more exciting. I know these are boring videos and freak my daughter out with the Michael Myers knife.
Please don't do it.
But that's it. Panasonic. Let me know what you guys think. You guys have this player. Do you enjoy it? Do you have the 9000? Do you have the step one below that, the 420? If I'm even saying that correctly. But love Panasonic. And also, guys, do you put any stock in these players actually change picture quality? I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm somewhere in between. I do think the HDR optimizer is going to make a difference. I would say probably the picture quality would be a little bit more improved. I want the functionality of this, Dolby Vision HDR10 Plus. It's the only reason I'm upgrading. As far as the Xbox One X, it's a fine Blu-ray player. However, there's no flexibility. I can't change anything in the settings. They're minute. They just play. So for me, I wanted a player that I can actually go in and kind of calibrate and mess around with. And that's something that's not available on either this older Samsung or the, you know, the more base players. This one has a lot of options. And again, it's Panasonic. So, I mean, look at that name. Love Panasonic. Look how dusty this thing looks already. But beautiful. I love the player so far, just looking at it. Again, I got it at Value Electronics. They actually have them in stock. Check them out. And that's all I got to say. That's an unboxing video. Thank you to my youngest daughter for your help.
You're welcome.
Not job.
Bye.
All right, guys. Thank you as always, everyone. I'll let you know what I think of it. Let me know what you think in the comments. I will talk to you soon. Take care.